Well, what can I tell you? We were warned. Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Coffee and Headlines. This is our morning get together live here on Facebook, where we examine headlines from our city, our state, and our country, along with all kinds of things that are going on in the city of Puerto Vallarta, our home, so that we can have a better life as a community of English speaking locals. And here we are. It is Wednesday, July 28th, and we have all kinds of cheerful news. Of course, I was surprised this morning by the governor. He did not say he was going to make an announcement this early in the week, but he dropped some bombs today, first thing in the morning. So we're going to go through that. We're going to go through other news that we have, and we're going to go through our usual lighter stuff. There's a little bit of everything from, I think I found a new ex-husband. We have some things that are shattering the attractiveness of Puerto Vallarta's popularity as a tourism destination. We're going to see which ones are more impactful than the other. And you can tell that I'm being facetious because there's this shit-eating grin on my face. But you're not here for that, or maybe you are. I don't know. You're probably here to hear all the details from Governor Alfaro from this morning. So let's cut to the chase. But not before I say that it is a pleasure to get together with you. If you are new, let us know by saying the word new, by writing the word new in your comments, and we'll give you a proper welcome. And of course, if there's something particularly important that you want to ask or bring up to our attention, please add the letter Q at the beginning of your comment, and we'll review all that during the second half of the broadcast. Now, let's start dropping some bombs. Well, as I said before, despite the fact that he said new announcements from the State Health Board wouldn't come until Friday, Governor Alfaro went live this morning, about 2 hours ago, on his Facebook page to announce the new restrictions for the state. I took some notes, but this next item pretty much nails it. During the month of August, all bars and nighttime venues in the state will be closed, period. This is being done so that the government can prioritize the return to school at the end of the month. And Governor Alfaro was very, very clear, and he did not mince his words when he said, bars, you were warned. Bars, you were told that we would take measures. And we send you some warnings, but you didn't pay attention. So now, as we say in Spanish, tómale. Bars are closed. In addition, restaurants go back to 50% of their capacity and working until midnight. Social events are restricted to 150 people in enclosed spaces, 300 people in open spaces with a density of only one person per square meter. Hotels stay at 80%, but only 50% in common areas, which means you can have your hotel full to 80% of capacity, but you can only have half of your guests at common areas at any given time. Stadiums are down to 33% of their capacity, with mandatory use of face masks at the stadium at all times, even if it's outdoors. Events with more than 300 people are canceled. Patron saint parties are canceled unless a municipality wishes to make a special request to the government, and then the government will take a look at the number of cases on that particular municipality, and based on that, the government of Jalisco may approve or disapprove the request. Every other type of business maintains the same protocols as before. Churches, Governor Alfaro said, have been doing a good job, so churches don't change. Movie theaters have been doing a good job, so movie theaters don't change. And this is one of those times in which, when the governor chose to highlight certain types of businesses, it's because he was making a very clear point against those types of businesses that are not paying attention. Last but not least, face mask use is and has always been obligatory in public spaces. The funny thing about that one is that one had never changed. But somehow we started getting relaxed, and tourists visiting from here, there, and everywhere started getting relaxed. And now here we are. All these measures are, again, very much centered on the fact that the state is going back to school. Mexico is going back to school. It is clear to the governor that most of the cases are happening on amongst the young population, and it is the young population that is going out to party to all these bars and venues. So, as I said before, and you seem to be amused by my comment, tómale. That's what you get, businesses, for not paying attention. What can I say? The current vaccination campaign for folks 18 to 29 is being extended for another day. Now it is going to be happening until Thursday. In his morning address today, Governor Alfaro mentioned that 48,000 folks have been vaccinated in Puerto Vallarta during this latest campaign. And the reason he mentioned it is we are doing what we said we would do. We are putting vaccines in your hands. Now it is up to you, population, to follow the guidelines, get vaccinated, and, do your share. Otherwise, tómale. Oh, why am I having so much fun with this? It's not even funny. Casa Jalisco, the official residence and offices for Governor Alfaro and his team, is closed due to coronavirus cases. Governor Alfaro tested negative. However, all his appointments were canceled yesterday. I feel for poor Governor Alfaro with everything that's going on in the state and that we've talked about. We haven't even talked about all the flooding going on in the city of Guadalajara and surrounding areas where people are like, Governor, what is the governor going to do for us? What is the state? What are you going to do to help us? And Governor said the other day on a press conference, he's like, well, there's a fine line between what happens. What's happening here is nature unleashed, and shit happens. So on top of all that stuff, the governor's wife has COVID, and now his offices have COVID. Why am I smiling through all of this? I have no idea. I just think it's just crazy. Mexican President Andrés Manuel López Obrador is coming to town. The president will visit the states of Nayarit and Jalisco this weekend to inspect the situation with the Guadalajara to Puerto Vallarta highway. Remember the highway, the one that was supposed to be ready 10 years ago or whatever, and that is not expected now to be completed for another 2 or 3 years? Tómale. So the president is coming to Puerto Vallarta to make sure that this is happening, and he's going to go take a look at the highway. He's also expected to offer his daily press conference from Puerto Vallarta either Saturday or Sunday, but no details have been made available as yet. Do you have both of your vaccines? Then you are ready to go back to work, according to the federal health secretary. You are no longer part of the vulnerable population, regardless of pre-existing conditions. This, of course, as it relates to the federal COVID stoplight indicators that we know are not even taken into consideration in our state. And Governor Alfaro was very clear to indicate that when he was asked yesterday, well, what do we do now that we're back in the yellow? And Governor Alfaro said, well, we're not going to do anything because we go by our own guidelines that are going to be updated on Friday. But today is only Wednesday, and the governor said, you can say it out loud, tómale. One more, as long as we are in this silly mood. The state of Jalisco has a retirement pension fund for all state workers. It is called the IPEJAL, the Instituto de Pensión de Jalisco, or something like that. In all municipalities, government workers have deductions taken from their paycheck for their retirement fund. That makes sense, doesn't it? I mean, you work for the government. The government wants to ensure that you're going to have a nice retirement fund so that you can be well taken care of once you stop working. And so that makes sense. Well, of all the municipalities in our state, it is Puerto Vallarta that owns the pension fund the most. How much is owed? 520 million pesos. How does this happen? Well, when the municipality needs money for this, that, and the other, the municipality borrows from its own savings, including the retirement fund. Then, of course, administrations come and go, just as we are about to welcome a new administration. But in this particular case, where did the 520 million pesos go? Well, that's a pretty good question, isn't it? Tómale. Let's go to the weather. This location would look so much prettier if it were on fire, says our snarky carrot weatherman. It is 28 degrees Celsius, feels like 34. Our humidity is 93%, and our temperature in Fahrenheit degrees is 82. What is our weather forecast? Well, today we're going to have rain, or we had rain until this morning. Starting again in the evening, there was a nice thunder shower, lightning storm last night, as a matter of fact. We can expect a high temperature of 32 and a low temperature of 25. Tomorrow, Thursday, rain until morning, starting again in the evening. 31 is our high temperature, and our low temperature will be 25. Friday, rain until the afternoon, starting again overnight with a high temperature of 30 and a low temperature of 24. And now we continue with other news. Let's see, what do we have first? This is good news, actually. Puerto Vallarta is no longer in drought, as the recent rains have contributed enormously to restoring water in regional reservoirs, according to the National Water Commission. Of course, when it rains, wildlife comes back to life and comes out to play, which brings up an interesting set of news items. First, a hungry crocodile, and then some bumps on the road. Let's start with this one. What happens when an American teenager decides to go out for a swim in the ocean late at night in front of the Marriott Hotel? Something that actually only happens in movies. Well, she comes in close contact with a crocodile that tries to have her for dinner. This happened earlier in the month, and the teenager is back in the United States, although still in the hospital recovering from wounds. This, of course, was immediately replicated north of the border, the teenager blaming the hotel for not posting proper indications of danger. The Marriott, being the Marriott, of course, immediately commented, and I quote, "The safety and security of our guests and associates are our top priority, and we can confirm that appropriate signage as well as night patrolling and red flags were and are properly in place." The Marriott added, "We review our plans and procedures often and work closely with the appropriate authorities on an ongoing basis. Our staff is trained in how to respond to safety matters appropriately. We encourage all guests to be vigilant for their safety." When was the last time that you went out for a swim late at night in the ocean, I ask? Or maybe I'm just not as daring as I used to be. But now, this is probably damaging to our image as a tourism destination. But in contrast, the nice folks at Punta Mita seem to be concerned about the things that are truly important and that are seriously damaging the gated hotel and residential complex's tourism image. Potholes. Yes, hotel owners in Punta Mita are upset about the potholes in the pavement outside of the gated complex. So one has to wonder what is worse for our tourism image, a hungry crocodile or potholes on the road. Where is it? Here it is. Thank you. I needed that. When the Olympic Games started, we frowned on athlete Jorge Cardenas's decision to remove his face mask and make dude faces and show his tongue during the opening ceremony. We figured, well, that's not the way to show respect. That's not the way to represent Mexico. That's not the way to behave. We were really upset about this whole thing. But then we saw him wearing his Sunday best. Well, yum. I think we can forgive and forget everything, don't you? Too bad my birthday just came and went. Otherwise, I would ask for this beautiful creature as my future ex-husband. So all of you guys that were lusting after Pita from Tonga, you can keep him. I'm going to take the tongue guy and keep him for myself. Now, I do know that you asked for Olympic updates, and I was going to put something more elaborate together, but then came the governor with his announcement and ruined everything for me. But Mexico is very happy for this bronze win by synchronized swimming team Gabriela Aundes and Alejandra Orozco. Meanwhile, the Mexican baseball team hasn't even played, and they're already ruffling feathers for posing for this photo with their local team jersey instead of the Olympic one. And also, did anybody notice that the Mexican team jerseys had the Mexican flag embroidered in reverse? That is something no one is really talking about, but it really did happen. Now, Mexico's Olympic team will be quite busy today and tomorrow in several competitions, including golf, rowing, volleyball, and other categories. I'll try my best to bring you a more complete report tomorrow, but I promised I wanted to give you more information about the Olympics, and I'll try to do that tomorrow. Meanwhile, this Saturday, the 10th Ceviche and Aguachile Festival will take place at the Rio Cuale. This is an outdoor event in which different restaurants of the city will be showing their choice of ceviche and aguachile. I know that there are going to be a few raicilla vendors, or at least one raicilla vendor. So this might be a fun excuse to get into town, because Saturday is also the opening of the new museum, the new city museum. So you could easily venture to the museum, and if it's not very crowded, you can go in, and then you can go and see the Ceviche and Aguachile Festival. I assume one is going to have to pay a small amount to be able to enjoy some of the food, or maybe it's entirely free. I'm not sure. But all the information will be available in the show notes as always. Last but not least, we live in a better world because Gonzo has come out as being gender binary. That's right, our favorite, well, not our favorite, but one of our favorite characters from the Muppets, Gonzo, is now officially gender binary. And those, my friends, are the news for today. Let's rewind all this adventure. Tómale! And let's see what everybody is thinking about on this very strange, surreal Wednesday morning. Pinches bares. I tell you, bars should have known better all along. Okay, let's see, what do we have? Be vigilant. Wash your hands, wear your mask, and get vaccinated. Absolutely, John. That's what we need to do. Now, what's going on? In case we're not watching the news and we're not paying a lot of attention, this new wave of pandemic is different than before because it's spreading faster, but it's sending less people to the hospital because we've been getting vaccinated. But still, we know what the guidelines are. Get vaccinated and follow the guidelines. Mask. Wash hands, keep distance, stay home. We know the drill. And I won't even quote, what did the interim mayor said? Oh, it's God bless the interim mayor of Puerto Vallarta. He was asked, well, The city of Mazatlan decided to enforce access to public places by expecting people to show their their vaccination certificate. Would you think that would work for Puerto Vallarta? And the interim mayor, God bless him, you can tell he's young because he said, "Well, I'm not representing the whole government, but I think it's a very attractive idea." And I'm sure somebody must have been going, "Oh my God, that's just not the kind of thing that you call attractive." But hey, that's why he's the interim mayor. I haven't had the pleasure to meet him, but I'm sure he's a lovely guy with attractive ideas and attractive opinions. Let's see what else we have. I really need a future ex-husband to, I settle for the audition, Kelly. I don't care for the ceremony. I want them to, just show me what they've got. Um, Crocodile attack on a young girl who chose to go swimming in the middle of the night. Yes, she was saved. Yes, yes, absolutely. Oh, a new person. Hello, Lynn. We're not usually this cookie, but the news, it's what they are. So I hope you have a beverage of choice. I hope you're just joining, and I hope you are enjoying what we have to offer. Don't be embarrassed to ask questions or tell people how wonderful a time you're having. Uh, I am here for your giggles and fart jokes. We haven't had a fart joke for a while, although Logan did forward to me a news item that I still don't know if it was one of those fake, silly websites or if it was a real thing. But somewhere, there is research being done to make sure that COVID is not transmissible by farts. I am not making that up. Logan sent it to me, which makes it credible. uh, let's see. Jonathan likes the sound of tomale. Tomale is the Spanish equivalent of take that. Um, and more specifically, take that, mother fracker. That's how tomale is. Tomale is like, take that. We warned you, you didn't pay attention. Tomale. Let's see. Paco can become a dating site. Sly is a very nice man. I am sure that's who is Sly. Did I miss Sly? Please show me Sly. Somebody. Let's see. Let's see what else we have. Sly, meet Kelly. Hey, I'm here. Hello. Let's see what else. Maybe beach not included. Oh, you mean beach included as far as wearing a face mask? Um, oh, Sylvie says, odd the beach isn't included. Well, the beach is outdoors, Sylvie. So, you know, I wear my face mask outdoors everywhere I go. And if I take it off in the beach, it would have to be like out in Maito or Tehuamixle or someplace where I am truly, truly far away from other people. Um, do I expect people are going to take the face mask off on the beach? No, but you know, it is what it is. Let's see what else we have. Kelly, I'm happy for your sobriety too. I wish I could say the same thing for mine. No, I'm just kidding. No, seriously, respectfully, I'm happy for your sobriety. Let's see. Ba-di-ba-bi-ba-ba-ba. Uh, isn't Cabron supposed to be in the Tomale comment? Well, you could actually compliment Tomale with a bunch of colorful metaphors. You could say, Tómale, cabrón. You could say, Tómale, pendejo. Or you could actually say, Tómale, culero, which would be, pendejo would mean asshole, cabrón would be asshole, and culero would be asshole. Yeah, so, you can't go wrong with any of those. Let's see what else we have. I missed a total blackout last night. Yes, I did. There was a total blackout somewhere in Emiliano Zapata. They're still figuring out what happened there. I saw a news item and they hadn't figured out what went wrong, but fortunately, I missed a blackout. I mean, I do know that my computer restarted somewhere during the night, but it wasn't as bad as apparently it was in other parts of the town. I wonder if bars like Flamingos, that is classifying itself as a restaurant, will be clamped down on. They hardly have any tables. How can classify themselves as a restaurant and pack people in? Chris, it's very simple. If you have a restaurant license, then you have a choice to open as a restaurant. If you have your moral compass pointing in the right direction, then you know how to act. If your moral compass is not pointing in the right direction, then we are where we are. That's the bottom line. A lot of the bars in town have a food license. I cannot speak for any specific places. And of the rest of the bars that have a restaurant license, some of them treat that license with respect and responsibility, and others don't. How are bars like Flamingo's going to behave? Who knows? All I can tell you is that I would be foolish, and I think you would too, if you chose to frequent a place that is crowded. And as a matter of principle, if you chose to frequent a place that has a moral compass that is not well aligned. But that's just my personal opinion. Suzanne drove down by the Malecon, and it was about half and half wearing a mask. I am staying in. That makes two of us. Yikes, was planning a visit to Tequila next month. Need to look into this more. Libby, I don't. Oh my God, I didn't get the right one. I got this one. Libby was planning a visit to Tequila next month. Libby, I don't blame you for looking into this more. I've been wanting to go to Guadalajara, and I am not so sure that I want to go anywhere right now. Maybe not go to Tequila, but you can still visit the bottle. That's optimistic. Sean seems to think that this is not an unusual situation. They're sitting in the back of San Diego. I love it. I love how much fun you are having. Well, Christine, there are certain things that are, the part of it is insane, like what the fuck fun, and we should unleash the parrot at some point. And in the other hand, it's like, tómale. It's about fucking time the government decided to really do something about all this stuff. Let's say, please share what tómale means. I must have missed a previous explanation. Oh no, this is the first time that we do a crash course on tómale. Tómale, okay, tómale can also be a very mean kind of thing to say to someone. I mean, you really don't want to use tómale on someone unless that person or that situation really deserves it. Because if somebody has an unfortunate mishap, if the next door neighbor loses their dog, even though they know they should keep him on a leash, and the dog disappears and then is found dead, that's not a kind situation to say tómale. I mean, you have to show a little bit of empathy. But empathy for the bars? No way. Tómale. Tómale bars. And if I lose some friendships along the way, tómale. Let's see. This is the second time for the Marriott's croc attacking late night swimmers. Sylvie, I mean, only in Netflix or movies or television series do people go swimming at night. I mean, I would be scared shitless. But at the same time, I side with Kelly. The Marriott has always been serious about safety, and so I have to say, just based on reputation alone, if we had been there, we would have been witnesses, of course. But is the Marriott at fault because one tourist decides to go swimming outside on the beach? Is the Marriott responsible for guaranteeing that no sea creatures are going to attack you when you go out swimming on federal property? And the beach is federal property. It's not even the Marriott's property. So there you go. Christy, thank you very much for empathizing with my certain level of cynicism at that news item. Thank you very much. And Sylvie, thank you for empathizing with the dude faces. He was making dude faces. And I have to say, Sylvie, I mean, you're not a gay boy like I am, but, the dude thing can be can make us a little, well, I mean, just look at that. I would have that for breakfast, but that's just me. Anyhow, let's see what else. You guys keep your Tonga guy. I'll keep me the Tonga guy. It's absolute poetry. Logan, I saw him first. You cannot have him unless you want to have sloppy seconds. Um, let's see what else. Big Bird needs to come. Oh gosh, yes. Oh my God, yes. Big Bird needs to come out of the closet. Yes. Sylvie, I am totally with you on that. Uh, could have used the parrot a few times today, says Michael Before. Well, I think what the fuck is a given, but I think we have to unleash parrot number two. I tell you, I mean, the news are crazy today. Angelica says, then for sure, are they closing in August? Bars and restaurants in Guadalajara are happening a lot of assaults. How is it in PV? In PV, crime is always a problem, and this time of year, well, you saw them stealing a fucking church bell 2 days ago. Um, they are closing bars, Angelica. They are not closing restaurants. They're limiting hours. They took back the hours the restaurants can be open for, like 1 hour. I think they used to be able to open until 1 o'clock in the morning, and now restaurant. Let me check my notes. Restaurants can open until midnight. So it is bars that are closing, and that's going to be through the month of August. Of course, we still need to see how the pandemic is going to behave during the month of August and September. Is it likely that we could continue to close bars later on if the pandemic doesn't come back to a more manageable level? I wouldn't be surprised. Uh, wow, Elmo got a puppy and Gonzo is out. Sesame Street is just moving along. I love it. I love it. I have not yet been to the ice rink in Puerto Vallarta. I'm guessing it will be a cool place to go in this weather. Well, I haven't been back since we went to visit it. I actually don't even know if it is still open. I certainly hope it is because it seemed like a very good idea. Uh, what? How do we get info on second vaccine shots such as CanSomp? CanSomp? I have no idea what CanSomp is, David. So, as much as I'd like to, I cannot begin to answer your question. If you wish to clarify, by all means, let us know. If they don't control the pandemic right now, it is going to be very scary to go in the high season to Puerto Vallarta. It is concerning to come to Puerto Vallarta right now. Actually, it is what it is. So I'm a little bummed out about the new restrictions, but understand them and hope to be able to visit places that can remain open. Worst case scenario, we can find some place for you, Joey, and I to eat the Butterfingers. What about me? David, I want Butterfingers too. Just kidding. You should try to get an interview with the new mayor. That would be awesome. I don't even think that he would grant it, but we never know. Maybe we'll run into him at some point. Michael, welcome to Coffee and Headlines. I hope we're not frightening you with, we're not scaring you with squeaky parrots and stuff like that. But as long as you're new, and since we've been talking about the what the fuck parrot and the situation calls for it, I want you to meet the what the fuck parrot. Yeah, what the fuck is going on with the news? Welcome, Michael. I hope you will be coming back soon. Michael asks, will nightclubs be allowed to stay open if they also have a restaurant license or serve food? I think we just answered this one. Nightclubs that have restaurant licenses will probably open. And Michael, it will continue to be your common sense decision to walk in or not walk in based on your comfort level and how daring you feel. It's a personal choice, my friend. Let's see what else. Let's see what else. Vehicle hit a utility pole, blackout. Oh, thank you very much, JR. Now we know what happened. 30-minute blackout in all of Cinco de Diciembre was amazing with lightning show. So I'm glad that you enjoyed it, Scott. Let's see. What else? Jorge had never heard of Tomale until today. Okay, Jorge, you have a new one for your lingo. Uh, Now that's a little bit too much, Chef Cali's. Chef Cali's offers us a more sophisticated combo. Tómale colero, tómala pendejo, tómala mierda ojete. That's like 202 Spanish. But anybody that wants to get inspired can certainly use that colorful metaphor. Um, Skinny dipping on vacation, sure, just not in a croc zone. Marriott has signs. Of course they have signs. They are the Marriott. Uh, Love you back, Scott. I'm glad that you enjoy the broadcasts. Uh-oh. Chef is letting us know that his restaurant's going to be closed this week at Palmar de Armara Mercado. I hope you take a safe vacation wherever you're going, or you have a safe time off and you come back with lots of enthusiasm. Let's see what else. Yes, absolutely, Paula. I mean, you see me laughing a lot and all that stuff, but this is serious stuff. This is absolutely serious stuff. And I am so glad that you, as a tourist, are hoping to come back. So, if that is the case and you are serious about this, Paula, I hope that when you are a tourist in Puerto Vallarta, you will abide by the local guidelines and not the guidelines that are in place in whatever place you happen to be coming from. Let's see what else we have. Oh, Cancino. David Flannery asked about Cancino. And what was the question? When is the second Cancino going to come back? Well, again, David, I believe you had asked where does one get information about these things? Well, this broadcast is a great place for information. We scout the news every single morning. We scout the news in the afternoon, and we scout the news at night. We scout the news at least 4 times a day to make sure that every single day that we broadcast, we bring you the latest important news here at Coffee and Headlines. Not to toot my own horn or to brag, but Luna, my assistant, who's missing in action, she is so good at scouting news that a lot of times we even reveal the latest news before the local news sources do. So if you are hoping to keep well informed as to when the next vaccines are going to be made available, I would suggest here, if you'd like to come back to Coffee and Headlines. Chef clarifies he is remodeling. Good for you. New menu. I would love to see the new menu. Let me know when you're back. Send me a note, Chef Callis, and we'll be so very happy to go and check things out. And I think we are at the end of today's broadcast. This has been absolutely fun and colorful. Thank you. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for putting up with my quirkiness and I just can't help it. The news are just crazy this week. But in all seriousness, COVID is not a laughing matter. And the way in which infections are coming back, even though we are more protected because many of us have been vaccinated at least once, it's still no laughing matter. So kindly be mindful of the restrictions. You know what they are. I know that I'm not the only person with friends that have people in other places asking, well, am I going to be okay visiting Puerto Vallarta in the next few months? Be truthful with your friends and do your part as a local and let them know. You're coming to Mexico, you're on vacation. I'm sure you're escaping from all kinds of unbearable situations that you've been living, whether it was in other parts of the country or in other countries, but you are still in a place that has guidelines in place, and those guidelines are here for a reason. So follow the local guidelines, or else it's tomale for everybody. Now, stay kind, stay happy, stay well connected, stay in touch. Have the best possible day you can have today, and I will see you again tomorrow. Have a good one.